inert outside the bedclothes that swaddled him to his neck. With both hands, I seized the ring and pulled. I could feel the ring's glowering heat and its sullen, mocking defiance as I tugged without moving it an iota. Cursing it, I strained against it to the utmost, and it flickered like small lightning, stinging my fingers as if in warning of what it could do to me if I persisted. I gasped, yet gripped all the harder. "Aric, no," my father's faraway voice commanded. "Will it help us if the freakish thing takes you too?" I seized the struggle yet still held his hand. "But this cannot be," I cried. "You cannot leave. Your throne, your people, we need you." Many folk adored him, but none so much as I. Perhaps a few minds within the castle were sufficiently scheming to think that I, his only son, indeed his only living child, had somehow done this thing so that I, a mere youth 17 years of age, could take his throne in his stead. But if they thought such evil, they were sorely wrong. I knew myself unready to succeed him. A prince I was, yes, but in looks no more than passable, no comelier or taller than most men, and in prowess no better with sword or lance or horses or anything. I had quested nowhere, had wooed no true love. I felt myself nothing compared to my father. I loved him. I would have given anything, my own fingers cut off, to make him well and strong again. "Aric," he bespoke me gently, "you are my beloved son, and my living pride. It is hard, but you will do." Do what? I never knew. For even louder than the keening of the wind around the tower rose cries from the courtyard below. The shouts of guards, and worse, the screams of men in terror. Warriors who would face battle-axes without a whimper, now shrieking fit to tear their throats out. "It's death coming," moaned one of my mother's handwomen from the shadows at the back of the room. "Hush," my mother told her. "Invaders," father muttered. "Bastard Dom Burke. Can't wait till I die. Aric." I gripped his hand hard, dropped it, and ran out of the room. For lacking the king's leadership, all the castle was my responsibility. At breakneck speed, I leapt down the tower steps, through the great hall and out toward the courtyard's torch-lit darkness. But I halted on the wide stone steps of the keep, struck dumb by the sight before me. A rider, on horseback. Only one single rider and horse. But there was such a rider and such a horse as no mortal had ever seen. In the middle of the courtyard, the rider and his horse stood like a great alabaster statue, surrounded by a multitude of pale ovals. The frightened faces of guards and soldiers with their swords out, or their pikes raised, or their bows with arrows knocked to the drawn strings. Yet he, the horseback rider, sat at ease among them, as if on a coracle floating amid water lilies. A slim youth, perhaps no older than I. He drew no weapon. His hands stirred not from the reins. He gazed straight ahead of him as if in a dream. He and his milk-white steed, both horse and rider far too beautiful to belong to this mortal world, shone in the night. They glimmered head to foot as if they carried moonlight within them. My neck hairs prickled at the sight. My heart halted like my feet, like my staring face, and for a moment I felt as if it might stop entirely. But I could not weaken. A king's son is not permitted to weaken, ever. With all the force of my father's authority, I shouted at the guards and soldiers. "Hold! Fall back!" I commanded. "Would you attack one who offers you no harm?" For the honor of my father's hospitality was at stake, be the visitor mortal, or otherwise. Only too willing to fall back, still the men-at-arms did not lower their weapons, and they continued to cry out, "It's fey! Uncanny! Across the moat, treading on top of the water through the iron of the portcullis and the wood of the gate. It's not of this world. Belike it's death." If it were death, then fair was the face of death.